So once again, let's talk about jobs in tourism. This time we will cover some pros and cons of working in tourism. If you work in travel and tourism, some of the advantages may be networking opportunities and meeting new people from all around the world. What does it mean in practice? For example, our students used to work in Greek summer resorts, and there they met lots of foreign guests. Some of these guests were fascinated by the good service and offered help in finding employment in their countries, such as the UK or the USA. Some of these hotel guests were actually directors or owners of some companies, and they wanted these young people to come and work for them. So, without working in tourism, these students wouldn't have the chance of working in very good companies abroad. The second advantage is traveling a lot. Usually, tour managers travel a lot because they accompany tourists from our country to another one. Sometimes they travel to Turkey or Greece, but often they travel to exotic destinations as well, such as Mexico, Cuba, or some other long-haul destinations. The next advantage is having a discounted stay in a hotel or a complimentary stay. Complimentary stay means that a travel agent can stay in a hotel for free. Flexible work hours is the next reason why people opt for working in tourism, because you can change shifts with your colleagues and you're not required to work from 9 to 5, which might be monotonous or boring. The next advantage is safe and clean working environment. It's certainly safer to work in tourism than on the construction site or in some other industry. So some people just like to be clean, neat, and in a nice environment. What about the disadvantages? Well, certainly there are disadvantages. The first is that many jobs in tourism are seasonal or low paid. You can imagine that a pool lifeguard has only a seasonal job. You can also imagine that room attendant has a relatively low paid job. So it can be a disadvantage. The second disadvantage is that your salary may be commission based. It means that you do not have fixed salary, but you earn only according to how much you sell. You may have to work night shifts. It's not difficult for young people, but as you grow older, it may be a problem. If you work as a tour guide, you may be a freelancer and work may not be available all year round. So basically, you're required to find your own clients. It can be tough, especially in any times of crisis. You may need to deal with unpleasant and difficult clients. Even at the best of times, there are always customers who are really difficult to deal with. They may get angry, they may shout, they may complain without reason. So you should be patient and able to deal with that in an efficient and professional manner. Sometimes the work can be physically demanding, and you may have to stand or walk for hours. You can imagine that a tour guide is required to walk long distances, And a chambermaid is also one of the professions where you have to squat or to work physically hard. However, people like working in tourism because they often get additional perks. A perk is a benefit you get along with your job. For example, the use of a company car or mobile phone. A complimentary stay is also a perk. It means that you can stay in a hotel free of. So, how do you apply for a job? Available jobs are often advertised on the internet or in newspapers. Job ads may be detailed or very short. Usually they contain the description of the position. A job ad is also called a job posting. In fact, it is easier for you if the job ad is detailed. If they give a list of qualifications and requirements, you should try to adjust your CV so that it matches this particular advertisement. So, if they are looking for well-organized, communicative individuals who can speak 2 or 3 foreign languages, in your CV, these skills and qualifications should be highlighted. Candidates are expected to send their CV and covering or motivational letter. A covering letter is a letter where you explain why you're particularly interested in that position. After a candidate is shortlisted, they're invited to a job interview. To shortlist a candidate means to choose the best candidates who will be interviewed. A job interview is a conversation between potential employees and their future employer. There are lots of questions you're expected to answer during a job interview. These questions are not only the questions about your education, but also about some specific situations in your past work experience where you showed certain qualities and skills. They may ask you, for example, about the way you solved a conflict in the past in the business environment, or they can ask you about one example of a situation where you helped your colleague. You should be able to write a good CV. A CV, or American English resume, is a document that represents your career biography. It should be around 1 page long. If it is longer, probably the employer will not read it. If it is too short, it leaves a bad impression. So try to make it 1 page long. So let's see the basic elements of a CV. First, you need to include basic info. These are in fact your contact details. This part of the CV should include your name, date of birth, address, email address, and your phone number. So here is one example. Maria Curry, 25th of January 2000, 120 Vice Street, Birmingham. Then there is postcode B186NF, England, and then phone number and email address. The next element of a CV is your personal profile. It is also called a personal statement or a personal summary. That is one sentence that sums up your qualifications, skills, and motivation in career development. Sometimes a personal profile is longer than one sentence, but usually there will be no more than 3 or 4 sentences. So let's see the example. A fun, charming, outgoing, and super polished receptionist who ensures that every visitor, guest, or client receives VIP treatment no matter who they are. The next part of the CV will be about your qualifications or your education. It's important to list your qualifications in reverse chronological order so that the last is listed first. That is because we believe that the last qualification is the most important and the highest. So let's have a look at the example. Business Administration and Management, London University, 2018 until present. This part of the CV tells you that Maria is still a student. Let's see her previous qualifications. A-levels, Business Studies, English Language, Accounting, Hammersmith Academy, London, UK. September 2014 to June 2018. Now you see which qualifications Maria got before she enrolled at the London University. The next step is writing about your work experience. Again, you should do it in reverse chronological order. So the last job comes first. So let's see what Maria has done up to now. She has been a receptionist. Where? In the Bridge Hotel in Southwark, London. When? It was June 2018 until present. Now, the next 2 points are about the description of her daily duties. Provided excellent customer service by answering and directing all incoming calls, reducing call waiting time by 20%. Here we see that Maria has not only been answering calls, but she has contributed to the company by reducing call waiting time by 20%. That is her achievement. Let's see what's the next point. Performed a variety of general administrative tasks, including handling cash and credit payments. This is just the description of her tasks. Medical receptionist, Grant Street Surgery, Lambeth, London, September 2014 to June 2018. Scheduled appointments managed the calendars of 4 GPs at a busy high street practice. Actually, Maria was expected to schedule appointments with doctors because GPs are general practitioners or doctors. What was her next task? Maintained a hygienic and tidy reception area. Employers are often interested in their future employees' skills. These are language skills, computer skills, driving license. So let's see the example. Multi-line phone systems, extensive knowledge of call handling software, PBX and hybrid systems. IT skills, Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and languages, English, mother tongue, and French fluent. If you speak a language fluently, it means that you easily communicate in that language. Finally, it is good to include referees or references. These are email addresses of credible people who can confirm your qualities, such as your teachers or previous employers. In this case, the example is Marco Green, manager at the Bridge Hotel, Southwark, London, and there is his email. If contacted via email, this person can confirm the abilities and skills of his former employee. And finally, it's time to put all these things in practice. Your writing task will be to compose your CV in English. Many future employers would prefer a CV in English, especially if you're going to work in an international environment. So after this lesson, I'm sure that it will be easier.